Hello everyone and welcome to another Digimon video. This time we'll be doing a bit of a sad but maybe fun one, or maybe not fun at all, maybe just sad, and we're going to be looking at every single main and supporting character death in the Digimon anime. So I say anime because we're not going to be covering the manga because the manga has death a lot. So we won't be looking at that. And of course if I miss out on any characters at all, just let me know in the comments and correct me. So it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that there will be spoilers for every season and movie of the Digimon anime, up to episode 13 of Ghost Game. So, if you haven't seen a series and you still want to, I would recommend maybe holding off on this video, and then watching that season or movie, and then you can watch this video. Otherwise, if you don't care too much about spoilers, you can check out this video. Yay! So let's get into it. So first up we have Adventure, so the first season of Digimon, and this mainly had good guys sacrificing themselves for the greater good, or for battle, or for the main characters in some way. So we have Leomon, who dies in the Dark Master arc, and we also have Saber Leomon, who dies in the Dark Master's arc as well. Leomon did also sacrifice himself to get the kids to safety to Devimon, but didn't really die until he became Saber Leomon in the Dark Master's arc. We also have Wizardmon, obviously, who sacrificed himself in the Myotismon arc. And then we of course have a main character, being Patamon, who was reverted to a Digi-Egg after the first arc, but he was reborn and wasn't really impacted by the fact he was reborn at all. He came back and he got better, but he still did die. He reverted to a Digi-Egg, which is Digimon death. Next we have Digimon Adventure 02, so the second season, and this basically had bad guys doing redemption arcs and then promptly dying as soon as that redemption was done. So of course we have Wormmon, who was fully reborn with memories but did die. And, of course, we obviously also have Ken's brother, who died, but those events kind of happened before the series, but still, he did do a die. And so, other than Wormmon, we have Blackwall Greymon and Oikawa, who both of these characters had redemptions and then died. Oikawa basically was like, okay, maybe I'm a good guy now, and then just died. And I guess he died because he was Myotismon inside, and that kind of took it out of him. I don't know, he just died very suddenly, very randomly, for some reason, to give us emotion, I guess. And then, of course, in terms of movies, we have Kokomon in Hurricane Touchdown, which was part 3 of the Digimon movie. And this was just a bad guy who was kind of a good guy at the start, like when he was first born, but then got corrupted by a virus, and then it was a whole thing, and then died. But he was more than just Kokomon, but that's the name he was given through the whole movie, so I'm just going to call him Kokomon. Next we have Tamers, which actually had a main character have permadeath. It wasn't reverted to a Digitama with full memories, it was a full death. So we have Leomon, obviously, who was killed by Beelzemon, and this caused Yuri to have some trauma. And this was an actual partner Digimon rather than just a friend they made along the way, and it was a partner Digimon who actually died. There was permadeath. So there was also, besides Leomon, there was Labramon in the first Digimon Tamers movie, which was Battle of Adventurers, and of course the dog that Labramon was based on there was some dog that died, and then the dad felt bad and programmed Labramon as a virtual pet, but then Labramon was a Digimon, and then Labramon later dies. It's actually really heartbreaking, if I'm being completely honest. It's a very sad, emotional movie, at least for me, because I love dogs. And then, of course, we have Frontier, where my hopes and dreams for a good season died. I don't know. Well, we have, obviously, Koichi, who is a main character, but some kids break into a hospital and cry on him, and he comes back to life. So there's not really, unless I'm completely misremembering, there's not really much death in Frontier that isn't fixed by breaking into an operating theatre and crying real hard. But anyway, so next up we have Savers, which it is also kind of like semi-redemption. We have Marukimon, who starts as being of kind of like the big bad, but then has a mood change and then is good. or rather, it just really doesn't like humans initially. So he dies, and then of course we have Bancho Leomon, who is also Masaru's father. So there was some death there, and while not a good character, but still a human, we do have Kurata, who dies by exploding himself. So that happened. Next, on Cross Wars, so the 6th season of Digimon, and I'm including Young Hunters in Cross Wars as well. So we have Beelzemon, who got better, and Shoutmon, who also got better. So both of these were main characters who were brought back to life in some way, but did temporarily die. Next we have Tri, which is a movie series. We have quite a bit of death. We have Leomon, Meikumon, and Tapiamon/Bakumon. So there's some death there, and of course Leomon is the same Leomon who was Saber Leomon in the first season. Next we have Kazuna, where we have Agumon, Gabumon, and implied Biomon who die, but we also maybe think that it's not super permanent because the 02 epilogue is still considered more or less canon, and all the Digimon are there. And then there's also Morphmon, who also kind of dies as well. Next we have Adventure Colon, and again we have Patamon, who was reborn with like questionable memories, kind of like some memories, and we also have Ogumon, who died but was reborn but has no memories of it and became Rebellymon. So there's some death there, but again, they were reborn, and a lot of the series actually revolves around the fact that Digimon die and come back with not really sort of like they have deja vu-esque memories from their past lives, but they're not completely considered the same Digimon. And now, obviously, Ghost Game. So this was very recent. We have the death of a supporting character, and that is Bokumon, which kind of inspired me to make this whole video. So out of all of these, the deaths that I probably care about the most, I would have to say obviously the dog ones in Battle of Adventurers, but I guess Bokumon was probably also pretty heartbreaking, and I don't know, I think the Wormmon one always gets me in 02. I feel like that's a pretty emotional one. Leomon's also a big one. I guess Frontier could have been good at some point. I don't know. I'm not really moved by people breaking into ER and crying real hard and bringing something back to life. Anyway, over with that. But in any case, who was your, I want to say favourite, but that's probably not the right word. Who was the character death, what was the character death rather, words, that meant the most to you? Let me know in the comments, and of course, if I missed out on any deaths, let me know in the comments and break my heart, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!